One BSF personnel has been killed in an attack by suspected militants of the NLFT BM outfit in North Tripura. The deceased has been identified as Head Constable Grijesh Kumar Udday, who hails from Mandla district of Madhya Pradesh. The incident reportedly took place near the Simnapur border area under the remote Khantlang border outpost. Noteworthy here is that the area is a tri-junction border of Tripura, Mizoram and Bangladesh. Well, earlier the BSF personnel was airlifted to Agartala for treatment. However, reports have come in that the BSF Jawan has succumbed to his injuries. Reportedly, the suspected militants fled the spot after the shootout, and soon after the incident, police rushed to the spot along with North Tripura District Superintendent of Police and the BSF DIG. Deputy Inspector General of Police has also rushed to the spot in a helicopter to take stock of the situation. Meanwhile, more details are awaited for the story. Well, here we have a big story from Tripura. As you can see on the screen, one BSF personnel has been killed in an attack by suspected militants of the NLFT BM outfit in North Tripura. The deceased has been identified as Head Constable Grijesh Kumar Udday, who hails from Mandla district of Madhya Pradesh. The incident reportedly took place near the Simnapur border area under the remote Khantlang border outpost. Noteworthy here is that area is a tri-junction border of Tripura, Mizoram and Bangladesh. Well, earlier, the BSF personnel was airlifted to Agartala for treatment. However, reports have come in that the BSF Jawan has succumbed to his injuries. Reportedly, the suspected militants fled the spot after the shootout, and soon after the incident, police rushed to the spot along with North Tripura District Superintendent of Police and the BSF Deputy Inspector General of Police has also rushed to the spot in a helicopter to take stock of the situation. Well, we are now being joined by our assistant news editor Pinaki Das from Agartala. Well, Pinaki, as per the latest reports, one BSF Jawan has succumbed to his injuries. What more can you give us on this story?
See, this happened in the morning, and this trooper, he was a head constable, and he had sustained four bullets in his body, and after critically injuries, he was rushed, in fact, airlifted to Agartala, but he succumbed to his injuries, and he was admitted in a private hospital initially, and now the body has been transferred to the morgue of GV hospital, and from here, after postmortem, the body is supposed to be sent to Madhya Pradesh to his official where his house is there, from where he belongs to, and BSF is likely to organize a wreath-laying program also to honor the sacrifice that this person has given for the nation, because he was in the border, he was on duty, and this type of incident have been happening in Tripura, where the militants hit and run. They cross the border, because on the other side of the border is not the jurisdiction of India. So this is an easy technique that they have been following. And the election for Tripura is supposed to happen in next 6 months, and the village council election by November. So at this time, generally the militants, they try to feel their presence, and ATTF and NLFT, where there's the two major militant groups, most of them had surrendered, taking advantage of the government, central government's package for surrendered militants. But a small faction is still there, particularly of the NLFT Vishwamohan BM faction. So it is suspected this incident was done by them, keeping in the area of where the movement was there. So that is very close to the border and unfenced generally. Those areas are unfenced because more than 90 to 95% of the border, the 856-kilometer long border with Bangladesh, has been fenced. But these are remote areas where fencing works are going on, but at a slower pace. So taking advantage of the open place, often the militants shuttle between the two different nations, so it becomes tough. And this is, before the election, this is a major blow where the security forces have to be more careful in movement, because there were reports of movement of militants from other side of the border. Now we have to wait and see. But this happened after a long, I think around 2 years earlier. Also, the last incident that happened was 2 BSF persons, if I remember well, were hit down, and their guns were snatched, and the militants had, in a similar fashion, crossed to the other side of the border. But militancy has gone down. But again, these militants are trying to make people feel their presence, because in the election time, they keep on collecting ransom and even sometimes threatening the development activities where are taking place. They demand for huge ransom from the contractors and other people, agencies, those who are engaged in this work. So this may be one of the reasons now they are again trying to show and make feel their presence.
Well, Pinaki, like you mentioned, like after a long time, there has been a report of a militant attack in Tripura. Does it signal resurgence of militancy in the state?
No, militancy was total. It happens that the number had gone down, but there were militant activities, because if I remember well, few days back also, in less than 15 days back also, there was a surrender. The militants, the youth particularly, who were with the militancy, they were returning back to normal life, seeing the development activities and the packages of the government. Because the main anger which the militant leaders used to use against the government is that no development activities take place, particularly the tribal section of people. But now with development activities taking place, which they can see and feel, they no more go to join. When there are also cases where forcefully youths were made to join the militants, but they are returning back. A large number of them are surrendered. A handful of people are there still, and the government has asked them to come back to normal life, and so that they can live happily with their families. But at the same time, the small factions always remain there. Now, what is the number, which is very negligible, but they can conduct such activities, sudden attacks, and injure and make people to make a feeling of their presence for a fear psychosis and to earn money, in ransom money. They do take all these techniques. So this is the reason. It's not that in a big way militancy is there. The number has gone down, but they can also harm the security forces. So they have to be more careful, particularly during the election time.
Well, Pinaki, the BSF and the police have rushed to the spot to take stock of the situation. Like as per sources, what is the situation out there at the spot right now?
See, generally after this type of activities, more forces rush to the spot and they conduct more manhunts takes place, because these places are close to the border. So on others, the technique that the militants take is hit and run. They generally hit for the security forces, particularly for the weapons, and they snatch and run on the other side of the border, which is deep jungle generally. In this case also, this is a remote area. So on the other side, it is the border. They go to the neighboring nation, so it becomes tough for the security forces. So there is a fine coordination now between the BSF and the other side in Bangladesh border guard, BGB, because there are a lot of meetings which take place for better coordination, so that militant movement or the cross-border smuggling can be stopped. When there is a lot of information which are exchanged between these security forces, and there has been improvement in the BSF and the BGB relation. So manhunt must be taking place at the same time. Top officials are taking stock of the situation as this process continues. We have to wait for that. Ultimately, if they get some results, because there may be some injuries on the other side when BSF was also fired.